operation. Surgically, it has to be input and then put it there, stitch, and then it goes off. So in this case, it creates something like this. Very simple visual neuroprosthesis. So when we have this, lot of advantages. For example, you are using the entire brain. That was the absent there in computer vision, because I was thinking I can model, I can do anything, I can. That I became a big problem, and I was undermining his brain power. And I was trying to put my ideas in his mind. That was not good. So now it is not the case in this, because we are giving the signal to the brain, still his brain is interpreting. It's not I am interpreting and saying, his brain is interpreting and saying. So no need of a huge mathematical models. It's highly accurate. It's highly accurate because brain is working. It's not my algorithm is working, highly accurate. There are some issues. Most of the operations are single time operations, but let's not worry about it. Once the neuro signals are studied, they do not change for different persons. For example, if some, let's say we take a spectrum of signals, when I am looking at a bottle with the water filled in, and the water is so clear, what are all the signals that will be generated will be the same for any one of you. It doesn't change. It doesn't change. It doesn't change about Indians or any religion or any language or anything. It's same. The same spectrum you will get it. So it's very easy. You need not to do every experiment. Do one experiment, everything is fine. And technology is now matured. Many things, you need not to have a long gap of replacement in the sense, anyhow we need to have a battery. The battery goes off. So many people hanging this way, that's a little looking weird. But anyway, we have lived. If I am visually impaired, I don't mind something hanging. Anyway, I will not myself see it. Why I bother about anybody seeing that? So that's the advantages that what we have. So these are all one of the implementations. This is not, everything is not done in this way. Please don't misunderstand. This is just one of the implementations. One other implementation is something like this. So I have my eye and the optical formations, and then this whole thing is, this is the cortex, visual cortex, it's coming here, visual in the occipital lobe. So this is where the interpretation is happening. So I can put the implant in the retina, if retina is the problem. I can put in the optical nerve, if the optical nerve has a problem, I can put in the optical nerve, or in any part of the body, or in the visual cortex also. Some people, eye may be working very well. The vision interpretation part of the brain does so many activities, hearing, touching, speaking, understanding, so many things it does, but brain has some part. How do you find brain has that part as a vision part? How do you know brain? You know that. It's something like two beings sitting there. How do you know some area of the brain corresponds to vision? How do we find? Who? How do we find? Brilliant. Brilliant. One intelligent way of doing is MR, but MR was invented very late. Before that, they used a simple mechanism of finding, but a crude mechanism of finding. Anybody else who is very cruel here? They normally destroy that part of the brain and see. For example, let's say this corner is brain. In an accident cases, they voluntarily know. Suppose this is gone, then if that person is after that accident is moving like this, we know that okay, that area corresponds to vision. Or sometimes for doing experiments, they literally poked and smashed the brain to see how things are working. Anyway, let's not worry about it. But MRI is the easiest way, very nice and simple way of finding, because neuronal activities can be easily understood by magnetic resonance. Magnetic resonance is a simple way. The whole body, 75% of the body is water actually. 75% of the body is actually water. Water molecule is a polar molecule. Water molecule is a polar molecule. It has a polarity. So when you are applying a magnetic field, if everything works well, everything will be aligned. But if I have a pus or some problem, this and that, the orientation will change. This difference in orientation is what is captured by MRI. So we can easily find, suppose if I am seeing a beautiful girl and then I am not having anything, then I know, okay, there is some problem in my vision. So this is the basic idea, I get it. So this is what they do it. But the question is, as I told you, you can put the implant anywhere, maybe on a cortex or maybe somewhere here, wherever is the problem. This is the beauty of the system. But only thing, you need to cut that area, put it. That operation is always there. The site of implant is always, the site of implant is where I am putting this one. So it is epiretinal implant. It is an epiretinal implant. The thing works something like this. You have a photodiode. I hope you all know what is a photodiode. So basically photosensitive one which creates electrical impulses, and we have an electrode array which gives this bonding pads on edges. Based on these activations, you have my stimulator chip which gives the same signal. Very, very simple way of doing it. It's not tough, but the whole thing is there in that implant. The whole thing is there in that implant. So this, you need not to worry about this, how it works. Yeah, the whole picture is something like this. You have a CCD camera. Probably, sometimes signal processing has to be done on this. For example, if a huge light is falling, I can control that itself because it will affect again my microelectrode heavily. So I don't want my microelectrode to be saturated. So I can control this one. So, but basically the question is we can have a cornea if it is working. Otherwise, you can replace it with our mechanical lenses, and then it is an optical lens which is creating in the retina. We are putting this implant. That's all the time we have. 45 minutes. How much time I have?
30 minutes.
Still 45 minutes. Oh, great. So, what are the advantages we are having? It's very early in the visual pathway, meaning we can interrupt this signal any point of time till it goes to brain. Wherever we want, we can put the implant because we know signal after this point will be like this, after this point will be like this, after studying all these things. So it's very easy to put anything, even very early in the visual path, meaning the lens itself we can change it. And the most important thing is no battery is implanted in the battery. There are some new systems which has come which requires only nanowatts. Just using the photons that is impinging, they are getting the energy. So that there is no exactly a battery is required. Now the technology has advanced so much. And now they have found also no complicated surgery. They have a way of slitting somewhere here and inserting through a side way instead of operating the eye. But then you have to, the space skull, we have to put it there. So as I told you, it requires very less. This is the highest power that is required. It's not all the time that is required. You can nanowatt is sufficient for this. It has also disadvantages. It's not that everything is so beautiful in this system because some of the electrodes which have some problems with the ganglion. The basic problem we should understand, whenever a metal is there in the body, meaning it is inside the body, it can rust. That's why we should have a biocompatible material. You cannot take an electronics microchip and try to put it. That will never work. You will have a fuss and then immediately everything will come out. But we should have a chip that material science guys will do. We need not to do that. They have materials which are biocompatible, meaning staying inside. For example, pacemaker. I always get annoyed whenever I hear this word because the pacemaker is basically instead of a normal heartbeat, this pacemaker, for example, if I am getting giddy and I am a heart patient, the pacemaker takes over and I can still continue my talk. But actually my heart is not working normally. The pacemaker gives. That battery works for 5 years. So they change the battery every 2.5 years because we cannot very 5th year and talking and suddenly if we go through the end of the story. So they make every 2.5 years of surgery and put the battery in. How much tough it is working with the heart. It's not so easy. So there is no need of anything. The other thing is sometimes we get unwanted large blur. We get it. We don't know why this is happening. But yes, there are problems with the extra circuit record for downstream electrical input, meaning once you have generated huge amount of signal conditioning and signal preprocessing, so many things we have to do it because we didn't understand the neuro signals properly. We will come back to that part and then you will be able to appreciate this one. So basically it's the same as this one. Yeah, this is not required. I think this one we can skip it because this is the same as the one where you are putting. Whether you are putting a subretinal or epiretinal, that's the only thing. You can put anywhere. As I told you, wherever you want, you can put it. Only thing is, you should know the signal from here to here, you should understand it clearly. If you could understand that, put it here, and the problem should be there. And again, if the signal processing, the eye is having a problem here means, put it there. That's the facility what we have. Wherever it is not working, we can put it. Because it's after all, we are going to simply something like putting a patching or doing something like this. So that's easier one to do it. So the image quality, that's the key thing. Any computer vision person will be always so much glued to image quality, in the sense, if I get an image, I am not satisfied. How good is the quality of the image? The quality of the image speaks for me. So they start off something like that. On the first day itself, they won't get it. So they start off like this, and slowly, they get something when the original to this is almost the same. Meaning, almost they have regained vision. Even though technically they are still vision impaired. If you remove them, that's it. They will again become visually impaired. But with that, over a period of time, that's because brain also needs, I think that video when it works, I think you will be able to appreciate that part. So it takes time. You don't get it overnight. Once I put it next day morning onwards, I see everything beautiful. No. It doesn't happen like that. It takes huge amount of time to, huge amount of time to come to this. It takes a huge amount of time to come to this particular point. So, but it comes to this point. That's the key thing. I can regain, as a visually impaired person, I can now regain the sight, and I can now see what is going on. So that's something really fantastic. Really fantastic what we can do. So this is just another approach. I don't think so. You need to know about all these things, but if you are interested, you can try to look at the subretinal approaches. This is something like this, the subretinal thing. It's something like a coin put in there. It's a coin put in there. It looks in an external view like this. Not actually exactly like this. So these are the most important thing. The good news is that there is no progressive change in the retinal appearance, meaning I don't have any problem because I have a biocompatible one. So long as I have a biocompatible one, I need not to worry about this. But then there is a bad news. The bad news is that I am deprived of oxygen. The cells live with oxygen. If the cells are deprived of oxygen, they die. Every cell needs oxygen. That's why blood goes to the cell. Blood's one of the primary functions is the transfer of oxygen. If blood doesn't go somewhere, why it dies? Because it doesn't get the oxygen. Very simple. So the idea is, when you are putting a metal there, blood cannot go there because you have blocked that thing. You have blocked that thing. So blood is not able to flow. Since blood is not able to flow, the oxygen is not received by the thing, they start dying. The beauty of the system is, whenever a cell dies in a human, assuming that everything works well with the human body, it normally regenerates. For example, if you cut your peel your skin, again it grows, right? Again it grows. Because the system has an innate way, an inherent way of regenerating it. Now the problem comes. When it is inherently or in a naive way is regenerating, there is no space, because here there is a space. I have cut, still it is open, it can grow. But in the eye, where I have put my micro chip, it cannot grow. What happens is it grows over the chip. When it grows over the chip, again it becomes a failure. Because chip, unless it gets a signal, it cannot pass that signal. So this becomes a very complicated problem, because this cannot be solved. Anyway, we have to put, because that person has a problem, so we have to put the chip. If I put the chip, that area doesn't get the blood. If that area doesn't get the blood, the cell dies. If the cell dies, it's a natural mechanism for the body to grow the cell. But since there is something sticking in, it grows in the other way and closes this. Once it closes, now the input is disturbed, again the person becomes visually impaired. So this is a big problem. Still we are not able to solve this. I hope some point of time we will be able to. What they want to do is, they want to design the microchip in such a way that it is sparingly oriented, so that the blood can still flow through, so that the cell behind this thing still gets blood. So this is what they are working on, still not successful. So this is one of the ways of doing it. As I put you can have a video camera and then you have an implant and it creates all these things. It's the same simple method, whatever we have explained it in a conceptual design. And we have a product like this. This you need to have. This is the key thing that you should understand is that they always have an image processor there because it has to process the image so much. This is the actual chip, the actual simulated chip. You need to just I want to show it to you. You need to work into that. These are image acquisition. This is again, you could see that there is an initial mapping is happening, color mapping is happening. They are having video buffer so that, because in the vision, one of the key thing is so many actions are continuous in the sense, like I said, continuous. I have a state here, next state, next state, next state. Do I think about this? No, we don't think. Because brain knows. If I have decided to move my hand like this, the brain knows which is the trajectory I have to move. I won't move something like this and then throw something out. No, the brain knows how to control every minutest details that I need. That's a beauty of the brain. We don't appreciate it. But the thing is, the brain captures that one. Again, this is not for us, right? Okay, thank God. This is the alarming one. I don't know why they have this type of siren. Anyway, doesn't matter. It's alarming. Sorry, we normally in Siemens, I worked for Siemens for 13 years, and I have a startup. But only when there's a fire, we have this thing. If this is there, we are supposed to run out of the building and go out. So I don't like it anyway. It doesn't matter. Let's not worry about it. Let's not worry about it. This is the key point. This is the key. If you want to take one information out of this lecture, you should understand this, that neural recording. Because the chip has to generate the same signal like a normal person. How do you know the normal person is generating this type of signals? Because we should know, right? I can always, given me as any signal pattern, I can always generate. But I should know what is that signal. So that becomes a big problem. So they have nice mechanisms of neural recording. How do we record these signals? It's a very, very nice thing. But we are, as I told you many times, we are cruel in the sense we are harming so many people, we are harming so many animals, but then we want to learn. The idea is, so we are doing a lot of nonsenses. So what we actually do is, we take some poor animals like rat and cut it when they are alive. It's not dead one, because once it's dead, no signal will be generated. So there is no use of cutting a dead rat. So we have to keep it alive and cut it. See how much bad things you are doing. But anyway, we want to understand. The same thing we are doing it for human beings. Be careful. So I didn't put that thing because it will be really bad. So what we have is that we put electrodes at all points wherever we want. Put electrodes, try to collect those signals in the commutator, amplify and do, and then we have all our signals properly done. The questions is, there are a lot of questions here. As I told you, first of all, this has to be alive, the object. We have rabbits, we have rats, or we have our ancestors, great monkeys and chimpanzees and orangutans. Orangutans are supposed to be very close to human beings. So all these monkey types, we have it. We do experiments on them. We do experiments, all these experiments. If you come to Bengaluru, please visit Nimans. There is one other, what is that? National Biology, something Signal Processing Institute or something like that, where they do all this nonsense. But anyway, this is not nonsense in the sense, these are all we have to do. Without that, how do I know? When I look at something, what is that going on in my brain? Nobody knows. Nobody knows. If you ask biology guys or the doctors who are working with the brain, they will not know. They will say, okay, I know whether the brain is good or not. I don't know what is signal, what is the spectrum of signal, power of that signal, what is the bias that signal has to have, this offset and this. They don't know because they are not engineers and they are not supposed to know this also. But we as engineers, we need to know this because we want to develop systems which will work something like this. So basic, this is the key thing. So I have my axon, which is basically my neuronal cell. This cell I have an electrode. This electrode, I have a membrane potential, which I have explained later, previously, that membrane potential with the potassium and the sodium. This is amplified there, and then we have a signal generator. We have a current monitor and the feedback amplifier, which puts together, finally comes to an optimal position, by which the signal generator also is the same as this. We have a good thing, then we know that, okay, that signal must be this signal. Okay? We are generating huge numbers of signals, and then we are matching with them and trying to get the best out of this. Okay? That's all we are doing, nothing big about this. But then we are making a lot of cruel things by poking our electrodes into various nerves, which is really, but then there is also a problem. Then we should be pinpointly poking that nerve, pinpointly. As I told, if you have seen, okay, let me go back 1 sec. Where is the epithelium? So how much do you think is the distance between this and this? Any wild guess? It's less than a millimeter. Less than a millimeter. Less than a millimeter. But the signal changes so much. You see, all your color processing is done here before this and this. Within less than 1 millimeter, everything is done. So if you are going to put it here, you have to do all, you need not to put anything. But if you are going to put, you should do all color processing. You should do all the color processing. Okay? So, oh my God. Yeah. So, that poke is one of the key problems what we have. This is one of the major problems, in fact, we have, because by chance, if I put the electrode 1 millimeter up or down, then I will be getting the wrong signals. So I will be thinking this is what is a signal which is matching with this one, and then I will be thinking, okay, this is the correct one, but actually I will be messing it up, and then even if I develop a chip and put it on his, that fellow will not be able to see it. That fellow will not be able to see anything. So the question is, again, here is another key problem. We have to now generate, we have to presume, okay, when he is seeing a red object, and that to a red object of a round shape, cylindrical shape, how the signal changes. We have to think a lot and then keep generating all this. This is also a tough job. A lot of PhDs are done on this particular topic alone. Signal processing, all our electrical and electronics and computer science guys are doing a lot of work on this one. Okay, so that's it. We have a lot of products in the market. This is not a technology which is there in the labs. A lot of products are there. That means technology has matured. So we have a lot of products in this one. Vision Care has this product. You can, but the cost is very high, $100,000. $100,000 is basically 50 lakhs, close to 50 lakhs. So this thing you play it, let's see whether it plays well. But I want this whole video to be played so that you will understand this. This is the guy who has a problem, and he is saying, why is
With wife Carmen at his side, it's his first time seeing the famous Ferris wheel.
Listen, I will explain it later.
I definitely see that.
The thing is, he's totally blind. Has been the past 25 years from incurable eye decay called retinitis pigmentosa.
Yeah, I see bars. I see one.
But since February, he's seeing again with his wearable by lost second sight. The vision
This is the
sector
company?
has been making a so-called Bionic Eye. It sees simple images. Don't adjust your picture. There is nothing wrong. That is because
This is how
you're
is the
looking through
actual
the
picture,
eyes
like
of
what
this,
is seen
the
there.
Argus 2. It costs about $145,000.
Argus 2 is the
and
product.
is one of the world's most advanced technologies, giving at least some sight to the blind.
What I see is a series of flashes of light, and the brighter ones, obviously, like a door handle or a doorknob.
See, did you hear what he said? I see only series of flashes. Because when a mitral electrode is firing, I will see only some as patches. Now he has to interpret these patches, which is done by his brain. That's not an easy job. Yeah.
Or a frame or something like that. I'll be able to see that that is what it is.
Alan can't see fine features. The Argus 2 is still limited, but he did
First
see
time
his
he's
wife
seeing
again this
after
February.
he lost
Yes,
one.
it's going to take interpretation of the
he actually had eye, and in an accident he lost it. So it was easy for him. These cases are very easy cases in the sense, for example, I have my wife, and my wife, I have seen it after marriage. If I have met with an accident, and if I have lost my eye, if this is put there, it's very easy to recognize my wife because I have seen her. That picture is still there in my brain. How it is stored, what is the data structure is, that's a different story. But still I know it. So when something is coming closer to it, I will say, oh, this is my wife. So I can easily map it onto this. So this guy, after I think 25 years or something like that, after he met with an accident, this is the first time he's seeing his wife again. He's seeing his wife again. Yeah.
Shape as the world's 15th person
That's why
with
he's
the
so happy.
prosthesis.
Carmen.
Dr. Greenberg, glad to meet you.
Today, another first. Alan meets Bob Greenberg, the man behind his second sight. His most moving experiences
Are the ones where people talk about being more engaged in the world. Social cues that we all take for granted, like, can I touch the cheek of my loved one without poking them in the eye? Those kind of interpersonal things, I think, for me, are the most moving.
This is how it works. A camera on a pair of glasses transmits images wirelessly to a layer of 60 tiny electrodes on the retina inside the eyeball. Only about 100 people have had the surgery around the world. So, what do people see? Bob puts me in a simulator.
This is a half moon. This is a triangle. This is a circle.
Give it a shot and see what happens.
Bob also checks Alan's vision. Walking a white line on a black mat.
I lost the line as I started walking.
This is one of the exercises we give it for our mobile robotics lab in our BTech students. So the mobile robot, simple one, it has to see there is a white lane. It's a standard exercise for the mobile robot student. Then it has to just follow the white lane. Just it has to see which color, and it has to align its motor such a way that it follows this one. It's a standard exercise which we do for our mobile robotics lab for our students, BTech students. But here, he has to do this.
Over a series of trials.
That means we are able to position ourselves very
It
properly,
takes
and we are able
time,
to
but
walk.
Greenberg has something even better
And
for
if you
2016.
don't get the thing properly, you will be going
see the
astray.
actual,
He goes
line
actually astray at
prototypes.
some point of
An
time.
implant that goes in the back of your head
On the surface of the brain.
This is what is put
will
inside,
allow us
actually.
to, we believe, restore vision to patients with nearly all forms of blindness, so about 6 million patients.
outside the research lab. Alan keeps exploring. This week
Now
at
he is able to
Disneyland,
mix and mingle with the people so
seeing Mickey
easily.
Mouse,
Previously, he was not able to go like
Is the
this.
shape like this?
the Enchanted Castle,
Describing.
and
There's a
this.
steeple there.
Oh, there.
Technology, wiring up eyes to the world for a
You're able to
chance
see the
at second
flashes.
sight. Raimi Inocencio, Bloomberg News, Los Angeles.
Yeah, I think so. Come back. So this is the thing. We can make their life more beautiful, more meaningful, making independent. That's the key. If I am a visually impaired person and somebody has to lead, I have to go where they want to go. They can always tell me, no, that's not a good place to go, I don't go. But if I have wherever I want, I will go. This gives lot of independence for these people. First of all, we are able to see the world, point A. First of all, we are able to understand this world, how the surrounding is going on. And the most important thing is, whenever we talk to blind people, they said, we want to be independent. In the sense, I don't want somebody to tell me, take me wherever they go. No, I don't want. Wherever I want to go. So that independence will be given by these systems. It cannot be given by any guidance of any person. Yeah? Okay, thanks. So there are so many eye implants are there. A lot of implants are there. These are all products. When you say product, you can order and get it. But of course, we have operation done by this eye doctors or ophthalmologists. That we have to do this. Okay, here we come to the end. Probably this will be the future. We may have so many bionics put in the whole body. So a human being may not be a natural human being in some point of time. You may have, meaning if I lose my arm, I don't care. I just go order in the Amazon. I need this one, and it comes, and I go to my doctor, fix it up, and next day I go as if nothing has happened. Because losing an arm is nothing, because now I have the mechanical system which is able to do whatever I am doing. Why should I have my arm? Something, let it do. So this type of facility will be there in some point of time, not really. I don't think so in my lifetime I will be able to see this, at least in your lifetime you may be able to see this. Can you play this one? This is another beautiful one. Nice romantic video. Let's see.
Hunter, you've had them on for like, I don't know, a good 5 minutes or so during the break. Are you getting used to them? And is it getting even better or what?
It is. It's actually, I'm starting to
Getting the hang of it.
Get the hang of it. Check out using my eyes. Actually use them instead of all the peripheral vision. But there's it's so hard to explain. There's only one thing that could make this better. If Brittany becomes my wife.
Oh my God!
He's proposing now to his wife. I mean, fiance, or whatever it is. Because now he's able to see, so probably he made a decision. A runtime decision was made, and then they are going to do it. Yeah.
She said yes!
You can stop this thing. You can go back. This is the way he looks her. This is the exact image he gets her. Huh? So really, okay, sorry, come back. No, come back. No, come back to the presentation. Come back. You want to come back to some nice places, I know. Okay, so coming to the end, yes, we seem to have achieved something, as I told you. Many times we believe that we have done this. This is not all that true. Our understanding of blindness of the brain still we have understood so clearly. We are doing a lot of experiments. This technology is called assistive technology, meaning people having some disabilities. Maybe I'm not able to speak, I'm not able to hear, I'm not able to see. All these people now get a lot of technical assistance. So this technology is called assistive technology. It's promising. Lot of work has been done, but of course, trials are going on to prove the efficiency. But the biggest problem as of now, costs are too high. $100,000, $200,000, $500,000. Nobody can afford one. But of course, it's at the research level, and some progress has been made to make this a product, but it's very costly, very, very costly. So we need to do something on this. But still, the basic problem is not solved, like a lack of oxygen to the cells. And the most important thing is we were nowhere close to normalization. Even if we have made a lot of advances, we have made our microchips to be highly biocompatible, we have made it highly power efficient, we have made it so that nothing like that can happen. We are still able to see all these things. Still, we are not able to make something equal to normal. In the sense, normal vision, we are not able to still get it. So, that's all. If you have questions, you can ask.
The session, our heartfelt thanks to Dr. Antony Piriyakumar on behalf of Sahyadri family for your gracious presence and enlightening us on the topic Bionic Eye. Now I call upon Professor Sudhir Shetty, Dean Examinations and HOD of Computer Science, to present a memento to Professor Antony Piriyakumar on behalf of Sahyadri family.